Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Backcast, your weekly stop of whatever it is Joe and I have been playing and thinking about.
Yes,
That sounds like a long.
that's apt enough.
It's a long pitch. We need to get it down.
Yeah, we need to iron that one out a little bit.
Yeah,
I think
a little bit, but
as it is us just kind of talking about whatever we want.
right. It's almost like I'm making it up on the spot as you hit record.
Yeah, I mean that's fair enough.
Yeah. So, Joe, how have you been?
I've been good.
Yeah.
I've been good.
Yeah, good. Glad to hear it.
I mean, I do have a confession. I know last time we talked about me finishing Wolfenstein.
Oh, we're just gonna get right into it.
I'm just gonna get right into that.
Yeah. Let's establish that quickly.
I didn't do it.
No,
I did not finish
no,
Wolfenstein.
you didn't. Which is sad. I still want to talk about that.
And I will make a point to finish Wolfenstein this week, and we'll be able to hash it out next time.
Oh, I can continue to hassle and harass you until.
Sure, might as well.
Okay, sounds good.
I just want to get that out of the way because I know we did say that. Hey, we'll talk about that. We're not going to.
No, well, I mean, we will eventually.
We will.
If time is relative and everything that will happen has happened. No, anyway, I don't want. No. We're not going to get into that. I have. Well, before we get to me, what have you been playing?
I have been playing a stupid little mobile game.
Yes.
And it's a rail shooter.
Mm-hmm.
It's Warhammer themed, so kind of in keeping with our Space Marine.
Let me jump out on a limb here. It's free to play.
It's free to play,
Uh-huh.
and it is loaded with the worst versions of free to play.
Loot boxes?
Oh yes,
Okay.
absolutely, yeah.
We're not going to get back into that.
It's called 40K. It's a free blade, is what it's called.
Okay.
And you already know, but the audience does not.
Yeah.
Free blades are a subsection of a.
Do you want me to take this?
Do we need to explain what an Imperial Knight is first?
An Imperial Knight is it's not a Titan, but it is a walker. It's like a giant walker, think BattleTech.
I lovingly referred to it before as a street level Titan.
Street level Titan, which is, like Daredevil is a street level hero.
Yeah.
Whereas Superman is a Titan.
There you go. That's
an Imperial Knight is Daredevil. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they're just smaller versions. They are less world ending.
Less world ending.
Less world ending. They still they still pack quite the punch, but you're basically you are a Marine that becomes an Imperial Knight. And
Well, you're not a Marine.
Well, you start out that way.
No. Really? Space Marine?
Well, that's what the Imperial Knights are. They're like the consciousness of a.
Mm-mm.
Okay, maybe this free blade has changed some of that lore. Then,
well, yeah, that's weird because no, Imperial, they're like royal houses. They're basically like your ancient knights, your feudal knights.
Right? Yes.
And
I think this may be part of the old versus new lore kind of thing.
They wouldn't.
It's quite possible.
Interesting to see them change it, but no, Space Marines are. The closest you get is a dreadnought to get it. I know we didn't want to put dreadnoughts are wounded Marines that are.
Because I didn't think that you're not like a dude piloting us.
You are.
It did not seem that way.
Because
it seems almost like a chaos level, dude
infusion
grafted into a machine.
That's not mutually exclusive in 40K.
Fair enough.
Eventually, you do become just a kind of let's say maybe a brain in a jar attached to one of these.
Okay, so you are never seen out of this
right, because
Imperial Knight in this mobile game.
Let's say
regardless of what, if it's a consciousness, if it's a ghost in the machine or not.
It should be a pilot. It's a pilot of some kind.
That is never addressed, and you just name your Imperial Knight, and that's the only thing.
Oh, you're gonna name it? Okay,
yeah,
cool.
You name it, and very quickly in the first mission, your house is then destroyed.
Right,
and
you're a mercenary.
Yeah, you then become a free blade. You don't have a house anymore, so you're not beholden, but you're still wanting
honorable.
To take vengeance on the
chaos.
In this case, you start out as orcs.
Of course it does.
I haven't seen chaos yet in the campaign.
But
anyway.
that's so far that is consistent with a free blade is basically a guy who's
it's the Ronin version of
basically
Imperial Knights.
For whatever reason I am not fighting for my house. I'm fighting for in
this case the house was destroyed, but
yeah.
your Mechanicum guy that does all your
mechanic
he's kind of there talking about how awesome you are as a free blade
yeah.
and. Well, as an Imperial Knight, but then the Dark Angels show up and they're like, "Hey, come help us out," and you're like, "Oh, sure, why not? I need to kill more."
Absolutely.
So
that is.
Anyway, it's a dumb rail shooter, and it's surprisingly fun.
Yeah.
You know, you have multiple weapons. It's got loot. You are opening chests.
Really, a loot game sucked you.
A loot game got me. Shocker, I know. And then it's mobile. That's the other thing. That was the real shocker.
That terrifies me.
I first jumped in and I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. 40K. I'm doing 40K with the Space Marine videos, and been watching a lot of lore. I just found out what free blades were. So I was like, oh, rad. This is new and kind of a fresh take, and I'll give it a look. And it ended up being kind of fun. Had some what is that one? Never mind. I shouldn't compare it to that because it's not really apt. But there's some melee.
Well,
stuff.
you've already done it.
I did.
You're thinking of? Oh gosh, I know the punch out. Infinity Blade,
yes.
which is basically Punch Out.
Yeah, Punch Out with swords.
No, I mean absolutely is.
Totally. I've wanted to make that analogy, but it's not really accurate. There's some melee combat. You upgrade your chain sword and stuff like that. And then when you go up against a big whatever the orc mechs are,
Morkanaut or Gorkanaut, depending on who's piloting it.
Both.
You know, there's actually
multiple sizes.
There's little to no difference between a Morkanaut and a Gorkanaut. Just so you know.
The two sizes that you fight are different.
Well, then those are not. They're not. I mean, the actual model kits that GW sells, it's either a Morkanaut or a Gorkanaut you build. They're identical. It's like a loadout.
Then there's a smaller one as well that you end up fighting.
Yeah, probably a Killacan.
Probably. But
look like a soda can with arms.
Yes,
that's a Killacan.
I don't think they call it that in the game, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't pay that much attention. They just show up and they yell at you, and then you
Space Marine. Oh wait, no, that doesn't work.
You don't really get to swipe to do the move,ments like Infinity Blade, which is why it's not a very good comparison. You're literally just timing on a bar, almost like a power level on a golf game.
Got it. Fair enough.
And if you get it in the right zone, you get a crit. And honestly, you don't want to do that because it slows you down a lot, and that eats up time and a lot of.
Okay. You don't want to crit.
There's a lot of replay on these. You want to crit if you have to.
Okay.
If you have to do the melee combat, but you also can just unload your heavy once your guns and stuff are powerful enough and kill some of the bigger stuff. But I got really lucky early on. Got a legendary main cannon, just like your standard machine gun. I'd have to look and see what it's actually called.
Autocannon kind of thing.
Yeah.
It has a bigger name than that.
Level kind of just automatic fire.
Some chain gun. Yeah.
Because it's legendary. It is super powerful, and I can just take out everything with it.
See, even you just talking about getting loot, I'm like, oh, I should. No.
I mean, hey, dip a toe in. It's super free to play. It's got energy mechanics.
Watch an ad and then we'll
watch an ad and we'll repair your Imperial Knight 10%. Or watch an ad to get a free blessing.
Jeez, okay.
And the blessings include, additional currency and additional experience, stuff like that.
Gotcha. Okay.
Bonus loot chances, things of that nature.
Okay.
And of course, you can pay to accelerate any of those.
Who's surprised?
It's lousy with the free to play stuff for sure, and it's really just kind of a fan thing at this point that I'm interested in playing it. It's interesting to see. Imperial Knights in that fashion. I've seen them in the tabletop game, and they are incredibly
I still
powerful.
own one. I sold my 40K army, but I still have that Imperial Knight just out on my shelf.
It's a good showpiece.
I love it.
But yeah, it's kind of fun. If you have any interest in some really base level 40K stuff, it's all fully voice acted too, which is really great.
I would just have it muted. That's the thing. Read subtitles and
it's worth it to listen. It's better than the Space Marine stuff.
Interesting.
It's really good.
Okay, you're selling me on this.
I really enjoyed that part of it, and orcs are great. All the stuff the orcs have to say, and how angry they are about you. Jumping in. Kind of interesting. It's a dumb free to play. If you need to kill time and you want to run around in a big mech through Warhammer cities, just blowing stuff up, it's kind of fun.
Okay, that's good to know. I mean, if you're looking for effective toilet time,
that is definitely a good one. And each of the missions are pretty short, a couple minutes. Some of them you have to finish speed runs. There's lots of replayability, trying to get better scores and unlock. Get a 3-star all the levels. Get all the coins.
Oh yeah, you got it.
But yeah. I recommend it.
Fantastic.
It's growing on me. At first, I was a little standoffish with it because it was really free to play.
Yeah,
but
maybe I'll check it out and report next week. Yeah. Maybe. No promises.
No promises. That's all good. That's all good.
And that's kind of been it for you, huh? Some hobby stuff.
I mean, quick note on Diablo 3. I did jump in. Since you told me that I had to do a bunch of conquests and do a bunch of high level stuff.
Get your extra tab.
There's an extra tab I didn't know I could get. So I rolled a necromancer, and I actually just solo leveled it, which was a weird thing. I had had a decently level gem of ease to go with it, so it didn't take terribly longer than getting carried by.
Someone
by
else.
all means,
You mean the 2 rift boost we got
the 2
you?
rift boost is pretty solid.
Yeah.
But it wasn't bad running through and remembering like how to play a necromancer again. We'll see where that goes. I'll come back to it once I've actually like started to do more Diablo 3 stuff. But it was kind of a light gaming week for me.
Yeah. I mean, it's coming off the holidays. There's a number of things going on. Yeah, it makes sense. Right on. And some hobby stuff here and there for both you and I. But
yeah. I've been working on some other Warhammer related. I had so much Warhammer this week.
You've done a deep dive.
I have. So it's been on the brain. So I did a lot of lore videos, like I was talking about. That has continued. I just keep like digging into each one. I go to sleep to them at this point.
Some of them are very good
soothing.
for that. Some of them are very good
to just listen to a dude talk about weird sci-fi lore.
Yeah.
So I haven't really like gleaned a ton from it, but I do have a better grasp on 40K.
I could put you some videos that will put you out in seconds.
Yeah, and I may have already watched them.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so I also with the actual miniature tabletop game, I've been assembling. A lot of stuff in regards to that. So that's been a lot. It's been taken out of my my gaming time.
Same. I've been in a weird mood. I've been building that mausoleum. It's assembled. I've been painting it and finishing it and doing all that stuff.
Maybe in the future when we've got some stuff finished, we can actually throw it up on as B-roll.
Yeah. Oh, actually, have us playing.
And not necessarily playing,
or just
maybe just like some showcase.
Put it on a lazy Susan and just spin it,
or even less than that. Just take some like some phone shots and throw it up. Just as like when we do end up coming around to it, we can throw it up so people can see what we're talking about.
This is production stuff for you. This is you're making your own job harder.
Hey, I did couch that in when we're done with them.
Yes,
and as I have a track record of not really finishing a lot of these,
do you actually have
may or may not happen?
Yeah, right.
But something to think about for the future.
Yeah,
just so people can see how deep our weirdness and nerddom goes,
and our painting abilities.
Our painting abilities.
I was going to say paintability.
Ooh, man,
I'm very paintable.
That puts even more. Yeah, very paintable. Just
so
slap
paintable.
it on. Nice coat of whitewash.
Yeah.
That's not a white privilege joke.
Yeah, no. Well, it is now.
It is now. I've changed.
Right on. Well, changing topics entirely. I have the Steam Summer Sale.
Oh.
So I'm gonna. There's a couple.
What have you done?
I've dipped my toe in a number of places, and we're going to talk about those, and then we'll get into what really got my time. So primarily, or not primarily. Never mind. Coming back to that. So I picked up Titan Souls.
Okay, what is Titan Souls?
8-bit top down, maybe 8-bit, like super rough pixel graphic. And I didn't get very far, and I beat one boss.
Top down, like, what do you...
It's like Souls-like. It's in the name, Titan Souls.
Sure.
But you have 2 buttons. You have a kind of a dodge kind of budget. I'm trying to remember.
Attack and dodge?
Yes, and what it is you have a bow. And you have to hold down to charge up the bow, and it's a twin stick control style.
Ooh, I dig that.
And you charge up the bow, and when you fire it, the bow that you have 1 arrow, and you hold down the bow button or to the shoot button, and it comes back to you.
That's weird.
But 1 hit kills you.
Does 1 hit kill everything else?
No.
Interesting.
So I beat the first boss was a giant bouncing slime boss, which every time you hit him, the slime he's in divides, and he's only in one of them.
Okay.
So you have multiple opportunities to die, but only 1 does damage. It's we'll get to it. I'll have to cap some footage from it.
Yeah, that'd be some good.
I kind of bounced off it kind of quick. It's like, oh, this is definitely one of those that's
a little intense.
Well, it's trickier. Like they made it hard on purpose. It
was like a Souls. I mean, they obviously in the name they're trying to invoke that.
I feel Souls games are challenging, difficult, but also there's a mechanic, like the way the mechanics are. You're kind of engaging. This feels. I might be missing something, but it feels like it's missing something.
Oh, okay.
So I have to spend some time with that.
I mean, is it an indie? I mean, obviously, it's an indie kind of title. So
it is the prototypical indie
maybe
style
not
game.
Necessarily fully fleshed out.
I mean, it's no Hyper Light Drifter.
Ooh, man, yeah.
So I kind of
that may be coming up, by the way.
Yeah, no promises. So I fiddled around with that. I was like, yeah, all right, that's a thing. Got farther into Dragon's Dogma.
Okay, now I know we've talked about this, but I still what is Dragon's Dogma?
I'm still not sure, but it's like,
is it an RPG, action-y?
Yes.
Action RPG?
It's like
did I just nail it first shot there?
I mean, we were just talking about. I downloaded a lot of Souls games.
Okay,
let's say,
gotcha.
But it's not as like.
Is it a Souls like?
No, but yes. Like basically positioning and what you're doing when like it that mattered. Like it still feels kind of soft though. Like the controls aren't that dialed in or that tight. So I'm struggling to find words for it, but it's like a Souls without being a Souls like.
Interesting.
But it is but you take that kind of as the mechanical thing, but it is a big old open world RPG. What strikes me though is the setting. So it opens up you playing a character that's not your created character. And they are the Arisen. And you fight through it. It's a tutorial. That's the tutorial, is you're playing as a character that's not you. And then you end up...
It already sounds very Soulsian.
I mean, you fight this dragon, but there's actually dialogue.
The unkindled.
Yeah, the Arisen. Yeah, anyway, you do the tutorial. It's not clear whether you beat the dragon in that thing, and then it comes to where you are now, and your creator character is like a fisherman on a beach, and the dragon shows up and steals your heart.
Okay.
And you have this scar on your chest where he literally stole and ate your heart. And so you're like, okay, what's going on? So that's when you become the Arisen. And there's also these dudes walking around called pawns. Everybody calls them pawns. They look like humans, and they vaguely sound like humans, but they're not humans. And they're basically at the command of the Arisen.
Okay.
And you actually create your main pawn,
interesting,
who can then be sent out when you're playing online to other people's worlds, gain knowledge and experience, and come back. I don't know what that means, but anyway. And then you can summon other people's pawns into your world, so you have a party of 4, but it's just you playing.
Okay, weird.
And I kind of got to the what appears to be the first main town, and I think this is the world that they're like, oh, since you can command pawns, you should go to the pawn bureau, or something. I forget what they call it, but and all the pawns are like, yeah, we're not really people, but whatever. And they talk all the time, though.
Okay.
It's super weird.
I may need to look up some footage on this game.
We'll play it eventually, but I got deep enough in to be like, okay.
Well, now I'm just kind of curious as to what is it exactly?
But it's just like an open world RPG with some Dark Soulsian-ish mechanics, but I need to spend some more time. I do...
action combat, though?
Yeah, totally action combat.
It's not like some weird turn-based thing?
No, it's not turn-based. No.
I'm not saying the turn-based stuff is weird. It has its place.
Yeah, and it has a very much, positioning is a thing where this is like, well, this guy's in front of me and he's got a shield. Hey, you distract him. I'm going to run around behind him. Problem solved.
Okay. Yeah.
And there's only 3 classes to pick from: fighter, ranger, which is like a mix between your bow person and a dual, your rogue, and then mage.
I dig that.
It's kind of simplified, but I don't know if it's. I don't know. We'll see.
Don't know if it's good yet.
Well, I don't know. It sucked me in right away, and then I got kind of hit. Same thing that happens with all open world games with me. It kind of opened up, and I hit a moment of, I don't know what's the best thing to do. I'm going to put this down for a little bit. And so I got 3-4 hours in, and that's where I was at.
Okay. That's a decent taste.
They have a starting area with some quests in a village, just a basic village. And I did that, and then entered the first big town, and yeah, I had to run out of a dungeon because the plot demanded it, and I was like, oh, okay, and then all my pawns died, but I'm like, whatever, you're not important, and I went back to the pawn summoning stone and got them.
Okay.
Also, my pawn is named Waifu, because, she's my pawn.
Inappropriate.
It's funny because they have 2 different, they have, you can name
but
your
I guess if they're not real, that's even truer.
Yeah, exactly. No,
form?
Exactly. That's why I went with it.
It's got layers.
It's got layers.
Okay, gotcha.
But here's the thing: is you can name your pawn, but then you have to select from a drop-down list what your pawn is displayed as when other people summon it.
Oh wow!
Because they're like, we don't trust you guys.
Oh wow!
We know how you work, internet.
Yep. So they're smart.
So I gave her the name Wendy. So she's Wendy Waifu.
Wendy Waifu. That's pretty good.
Yeah, right.
That's really good.
And she real supportive.
She's real snarky on Twitter.
Well, here's the thing: is you can make her. You could sit down with them at the learning chair or the chair of knowledge in any inn.
Oh no way! There's a weird rudimentary AI.
Yeah. Well, they say, how would you like me to call this out? How do you think I do this? Do you want me to be helpful over? You could turn it into your waifu.
It's getting a lot more waifu than I thought at first.
Oh,
I thought it was just a joke.
We might have to capture footage just of that because.
Man.
Anyway, but the pawns talk way too much, incessantly. There's no end to the pawning. Anyway, so I kind of I'm like, okay, cool. I want to come back to that, but not right now. I'm not in the mood for this. I I got, again, for me, Diablo 3, I got my first primal drop for it's a linchpin item, a sword, for a build I'm not running, but is the meta build. And I'm just like, dang it, Blizzard, this hurts. And I just stepped away for a bit.
So you have not had as much Diablo time. Similar to myself.
No. What I have been spending my time on.
Tell me, Dan, what have you been like letting eat your life?
The Stardew Valley. Which is...
Granted, I wish I was in that boat. I wish I was playing some Stardew Valley.
Right, because you've seen a lot of video.
Yeah, I have seen a bit of video on it, and but what I'm kind of waiting for is a Switch. Once I get a Switch...
Because it's $20 on the Switch,
and it's on Switch. And
it's already out?
Yeah, it's already out.
Okay, good to know.
A mobile version of that would be pretty awesome.
See, I kind of knowing, so it was $9 on Steam, and I kind of knowingly went with that version, so I don't sit up in bed with my Switch playing it.
That's kind of when I need it.
Yes,
I kind of need
that's
it
great.
in bed sometimes.
You don't have to wake up as early as I do.
That is true. I do not have as
a rigorous schedule.
I definitely do not maintain a rigorous schedule.
Yeah, and I have a rough commute, so that's also a thing. So I really can't be waking up and thinking about my. Well, I guess
that's very responsible.
Right. Let's talk about what I've been thinking about.
Yeah,
farming simulator.
So yeah, tell us what are your thoughts?
Ooh, so
I've
much.
seen a little bit of it. I've actually never played one of these
Harvest
Moon-esque.
Likes.
I always wanted to. I really loved the look of the one that they put out on the N64, but it was really hard to find back then.
See, I started on an emulated version, but the Harvest Moon for Super Nintendo, and it hooked me. I was like, the first time I played it.
That's basically what Stardew Valley is, right?
Yeah, and I
SNES.
It's that thing where they're like Dead Cells. We're going to use better pixel graphics, but it's still pixel graphics.
Right. Yeah, it's updated, retro modern.
Right. Exactly.
As I like to call it.
But like it hooks in you super fast. It's like, okay, here's some seeds. Here's a box on your farm. Oh, I should say your grandfather. You're there when he dies. He hands you a letter and says, "Don't open this until basically you're weary of life." Or like
that's a dark thing to.
He says when you reach a point in your life and you're not sure where you are, where you should be, and you're not sure if you're happy. Open this letter.
Okay, that's a little gentler.
But it's like when the disappointment catches up with you, read this letter. And then it shows you in a cubicle for Jojo Mart or whatever, Jojo Mart.
Right, yes.
You're in a cubicle, and then you're like, and you pull open a drawer, and you're like, okay, let's read this letter. He's like, hey, you have my farm. Here's the deed. It's there for you. You should go rediscover yourself. But I had to wait until you got to this.
Oh, man, that's great.
You have to hit the bottom before you can climb your way up, basically, I guess.
So theoretically, you can just stay working at the Jojo Mart?
No, it's not an option. That's the opening cutscene, basically. And it's
funneling you to, like, keep farming. You can't just be, like, a Walmart attendant for the rest of
here's the thing,
your gameplay experience.
When you get to town, you find out that the Jojo Mart's there. And, like, it's kind of shady. The dude seems nice. Like, the manager seems kind of nice. And then he walks into his rival's place of business and says, I got 50% off coupons for anybody if you follow me outside. Just straight up.
Wow.
And, like, you're talking to the mayor of the town, and you have this rundown community center. So, yes, get your electric boogaloo ready to go.
Who's coming with me?
There's a rundown community center, and the mayor's like, yeah, if one more person buys a Jojo Mart subscription or basically your Costco membership, it's like, I figure I'll just sell it to them. They're going to turn it into a warehouse.
Oh man!
And I'm like, no, I don't know anybody who would like, because I guess you get discounted prices. I've never shopped there because I'm like, this is the soul crushing place I worked at. Why would I give them money? Anyway, so you have your farm, and you're buying seeds, and you can build barns, raise animals, and it's got a very simple system where you're like, I have an egg. I can put that egg in a mayonnaise machine, and it comes out as mayonnaise.
No, yeah, that adds up.
And mayonnaise sells for more.
Right. Yeah, it makes sense.
Or you can cook it.
All of that sounds awesome.
Man, I really want to play. But the core mechanic is you wake up at 6 a.m., you have an energy meter, and you have time all fighting against you. You're trying to get as much done in a day before your energy and or time runs out. And then you go, it's like, then you go to bed, and then you start again. Like, and it's, you're trying to I'm expanding my farm. Like, okay, I've got this down. I'm trying to build sprinklers so I don't have to spend half of my day watering my crops, but I'm also making a lot of money, so I'm happy to spend half my day watering my crops. Like corn, hot tip, it seems to be all right because it can grow in both summer and fall. Oh, I should mention. So there's 4 months a year.
So we have a time thing going on.
Yes.
We have seasons.
Right. And
it's not real time though, right? It's
No.
accelerated time.
It is accelerated time. Every season is a month of 28 days. And
Okay.
all those 4 months make up a year.
And what's the average day length?
Depends on depends on how late you want to stay up. Like there's a penalty after midnight, I think. I'm usually hitting the sack at like between 6 and 8 o'clock every night because I'm like, I'm done, I'm out of energy, might as well sleep.
Fully embracing your grandpa's legacy.
Oh, absolutely. Seriously. Well, no, I've destroyed what his farm was. It feels like I've made like he's got a huge amount of land, and I'm like, and no one ever like. My first month and a half there, or I guess my first half year there, I've got featured in a magazine, and everybody's like, "It's amazing!" Like, what are these people doing with their time? Anyway, and you have townsfolk you have to interact with and give them gifts, and they have birthdays, and give them gifts on their birthdays. You get like double or triple.
Oh, right. There's
affection.
a whole like courting.
Yeah, you can
thing.
if you want, or
You
just
can even
general.
get married, right?
Yes, you can. I believe. I don't know. I'm not
man.
sure who I want to go for.
Farmville dating simulator.
I'm going
Bring
for-
it on Stardew Valley.
I'm going for the blue-haired chick who works in the bar, but also sews her own clothes.
Oh, okay.
And she has an incredibly stuck-up, your prototypical blonde stuck-up sister.
Okay.
So she's like the down-to-earth alternative with blue hair. So I'm like, yeah, let's see where this goes. Let's get to know you.
You seem all right.
She also likes
I'll keep you
rare
around.
stones from the mine. So I'm just
Oh.
like, I'm out I'm mining when I'm out of stuff to do. I go down in the mine. There's like floors. And that's where I get my stuff to upgrade my my tools.
So it's also a roguelike.
No, the floors seem established with the layout. Not the layout. The layout is the same.
Or
but
Diablo.
No, so the mine floor is the exact same, but what's on it changes.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
But sort of procedurally generated? Or...
Yes, it seems procedurally, but but if it's like a room with a lake on it and there's 2 rocks, there might be 3 rocks next time.
Oh.
It's not that impressive.
Not that robust.
No, this was made by one dude. One single dude.
Super impressive.
Super impressive. And the music is, I wouldn't call it good, but it gets in your head, and it also, when you're playing, you're like, yeah, I'm going to harvest these crops. And you're kind of weirdly motivated. The main mechanic is harvesting your crops, and you can, you have an axe, a scythe, a hoe, and
so does it kind of have
a
some
pick.
buildery qualities to it as well?
No, there's no buildery.
No build stuff?
You have to pay the town carpenter, and she comes out and builds what you want.
Okay.
But you can collect the materials. You can actually lay out your farm. You choose what goes where.
Okay.
So
That's cool.
And they win one mechanic over Harvest Moon. And this is going to be weirdly and esoteric for people who don't get it. So in Harvest Moon, you buy a pack of seeds. And what it does is from where you're standing, you basically throw the seeds up in the air. It hits your tile and the 8 tiles around you. If they're all tilled, you have to till the soil before seeds will take. This, you buy a seed. It's for 1 square.
Oh, okay.
Well, the problem though with Harvest Moon is as plants would grow, they always would block each other off, and you can't walk through them. Always. So at some point you're only having 8 crops, no matter
Is
how
that just
you.
more like antiquated game design?
The first one I would say yes. After that, I'm not sure, and I don't know if they changed that because you would have a 9
See,
by
I
9
wonder how like Harvest Moon stacks up to. Obviously, Stardew Valley is kind of like the culmination of a lot of these farming simulator type things. But like we've also had like the Farmvilles and things that are just very much just focused straight on farming.
Yes.
I wonder how all of that adds up.
It's gotta
nowadays.
I don't know. I never played Farmville, so I couldn't.
I didn't do it.
It is pretty Harvest Moon with optimizations, and I will say with Harvest Moon, so you could only get to 8 of your plants at one time until you had to upgrade water cans, and you could basically throw water. Is essentially what it was, and that's how you could get around it. So then you were actually maximizing was later.
Okay.
This you can walk through your plants unless they're on poles, and it tells you specifically that you're planting on poles. So like beans. They have to wrap around a
stuff
pole.
like vines and...
Right. But this allows you to not only walk through as you're watering, but you can actually lay it up in rows like you would see normal crops. And,
Which makes sense.
Which makes sense.
Which is how you'd want it to be.
And if you haven't told, it gets under your skin in a way you're like, I can do this better, I can make money. And once your first crop comes in, you're like, oh, I'm not, by no means am I flush with cash, but all right, I now have 2-3 times as much. And you get in the cycle of, I just made $6,000, I'm going to dump 4 of it back into seeds.
Right.
and immediately plant that. The thing is, when the season changes to the day, if you're the last day of summer and you don't get your harvest on the first day of fall, that plant is dead.
Oh, okay.
So there's no like, yeah.
There's no waiting.
So you
got to make sure you've got it timed.
And so you do have
correctly.
seasonal crops. That's a thing.
How much hand holding happens in all of this?
Not a lot.
Are there like townsfolk that are warning you, hey, you better harvest your stuff because
Nope.
it's gonna die. The frost
Nope.
is coming.
Not at all.
Man,
There are some tool tips and things
that could be real bad.
if you're paying attention, it'll tell you. And you check the weather every day, and it tells you what the weather is for tomorrow, because it's too late today for the weather.
Yeah.
So that's great. You're like, okay, I need to make sure my mining gear is ready to go, and also you can eat items in the mine. You have health, but your energy, so you can replenish your energy in the mine, so you can go longer.
Interesting.
Because like on days where you're like, oh, it's a rainy day, or in the winter when there's snow on the ground, there's no growing plants. You can still tend to animals. And you can grow grass, which you then chop down for feed for animals, so you don't have to buy feed anymore. At a point, you can become self-sufficient, so you're not putting money back into the town at all.
Oh wow!
I believe if it's anything like a Harvest Moon had hey, I'm taking this plant, I throw it in the seed maker, it gives me
going
some
off
seeds.
the grid.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I did make.
I don't have a social security card for Roy.
This guy doesn't have a social security. He's off the grid with Roy.
Oh man,
that's the difference between you and me. I never go back to the carpet store. Yes.
If you have not watched Rick and Morty, you're doing something wrong.
Got to take deep breaths. You sidetracked me, and I had to get that out.
My bad.
I had to get that out. But yeah, I gotta find
blips and shits.
Yeah, blips and shits. Okay. Yes, you spend the whole afternoon there, and nobody dies.
Spend your flurbos to get tickets.
Yeah. So the Harvest Moon, there was a thing that you can harvest seeds from, get that back, and you're good. This I haven't got there yet, so I don't know for certain. I believe this game will do that at some point. Yeah, so it's interesting.
Like what is like the full loop? Are you just going a year?
Ask me in a few months when I'm
yeah,
dead.
I guess so.
Because here's the thing is, like, I found my grandpa's grave on my property with a note that says,
you didn't realize it was there?
It was the place is thrashed. It's basically a forest.
Oh, right, because you've been working at the
Jojamart.
Super
Jojamart, yeah.
And everything's just gone to crap.
The Walmart Sam's Club.
Because for whatever reason, you just ignored the fact that there was a farm
You didn't
there.
know. You didn't know it was yours.
Well, you didn't know it was yours, but like
nobody else did either.
The legal system in this town is.
Well, no, you don't live in the town. You live somewhere else.
Oh, okay.
You come to this town and you take over your grandpa's farm.
Oh, I missed that part.
Yeah, so I didn't really get into
My
that.
bad.
Yeah, because he lives out in the country. You live you work at the corporate office.
Got it. You're
It's
in
not
the
like-
city. It's out in the.
It's not.
You just figured somebody else dealt with it after he died.
It's not like you quit,
You're
walk
weird.
10 feet, and you're like, I live here now.
I live here now. I just figured, like, you figure maybe some weird distant cousin like is taking care of it or something.
Poorly. That would be great. You have to evict your redneck cousin.
That would be great.
Or he's there as the help. Oh.
Oh man.
But you have to, like, the problem is him. Like, he interferes with. But you get a dog.
Okay.
And you get a name. Or a cat. You actually pick.
Do you get to choose what kind of dog?
No. In the character creator, you get to choose a number of things. It's not as robust as I would like, but it's a pixel art game, so I guess whatever.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
But I didn't dig deep enough to see if I get a flannel shirt, but I have a like a t-shirt and an over jacket, like a flannel. And a nice beard, like a mountain.
Ooh,
man.
there you go.
So I'm like, no, I'm going off the grid,
embracing.
Yeah.
That farm life,
which is hilarious because I live in the town with the blue-haired lady.
Right on.
But she's a prepper. She makes her own clothes.
That's true.
But she's like, but cloth is hard to come by out here. So I guess if I want to make her happy, I'll probably just start making cloth because you can get sheep that you then turn into wool, and then you can then turn to cloth.
Yeah.
It's one of those games that has like layers on layers.
Yeah, and that makes sense. And you probably just continually like making things more efficient.
Right. In fact, you can pay the carpenter to move buildings. So as you're building, it says you're clearing land and building on land. You're going to want to set up like pasture land for your animals, I believe. I'm not sure.
Right. Like grazing and whatnot.
And then I
makes sense.
just built a coop.
Oh, right on.
So I'm waiting. I want to get some things in place before it just started fall. It's the first day of fall. is where I saved off. I want to get everything ready. I'm one of those people, I need to know what I'm dealing with before I start buying chickens.
Right.
Because a game like this, they'll get sick, and I don't want to waste money on medicine. And the happier they are, the better quality. So there's, as far as I know right now, there's 3 qualities of item drop, basically. Regular, silver star, gold star. And so I actually, you can craft from tree sap
so it's a loot game.
Yeah, a little bit. I was wondering if you pick up that. And it is random because what you do is you craft. I can craft basic fertilizer from tree sap, which increases the chances that it's going to roll up to a higher tier, and it rolls high enough, often enough. Totally worth it.
I mean, this game. I'm already sold on this game. Like, if people are not realizing,
I'm sorry if you're not.
Like,
but
I'm already sold. So it's kind of,
right,
and I was before we started talking.
I think
it.
you're the.
I do really enjoy like. Everything this game has,
and it is a day devourer, as in not the game, as in you will lose days to this.
Just binge.
Yeah, because you're just playing and you're like, oh, one more day, this crop's gonna come in. Oh, this thing happened. Oh no, there was a storm, and now I have to replant. And
maybe you get the right idea. Maybe I shouldn't wait and get it on Switch. Maybe I should just get it.
It's got good controller support on the PC. But at the same time, I don't know. It's a fun game if you like something. It's a good podcast game, except I was watching a YouTube video that stopped, and it was like 2.5, 3 hours before. I was like, right.
I was watching a thing.
I was doing a thing. And it's not because the music's that great. It's just you get so absorbed in it. And the day-to-day, and you're like, I got to run into town to buy more seeds, and you're running in and you're watching the clock tick 10 minutes at a time every, like, I don't want to say like 15, 30 seconds, but it's frequent enough that you're just like, oh, I got to go faster. So I have to build a stable. If I collect enough hardwood, I could build a stable, which gives me access to a horse that I can ride around town, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a mount.
Yeah, it is.
You get your mount, and then you can cruise around. Everything's super efficient.
But it's this. I think if you want to play the game just by what I've described. But then again, maybe not. Maybe you see it and you go, "Oh,
well, we'll get some B-roll."
Yeah,
we'll get some B-roll.
I had this. Well, the B-roll we're probably viewing now is what I captured last week. I'm like a week ahead on B-roll.
Do we need to plan our B-roll a little?
I don't like doing that because, like, if you wait till the moment we switch, that's more editing for you. And I have
it's
to
not that bad though.
But I also have to capture so much more footage.
In the case of B-roll, it's not that
well,
bad.
And then you would have to capture a ton of footage because when you're talking about Wolfenstein, you'd have to be playing Wolfenstein.
Well, that would require a capture card as well. And I don't have any problem capping footage by any means.
Right, but I
wish I could cap some Freeblade. That'd be cool to have.
There's ways to do it. I've seen people do it. Or you can download an app that turns your desktop into a phone and just play it on that.
Ooh, yeah, maybe I'll do that. I'd have to start over though.
Yeah, that would be a shame.
Don't really want to lose my sweet legendary guns.
What'd you name your free blade?
I just named it after my WoW character.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
I always try. I come up with weird names.
It's
for
good.
Things.
That one's good enough that I can just use it on like anything that's.
I'll say what I did for a while when I was playing. For the first Pokemon game I played, which is Black. And I don't have the cart anymore, but I would play a game whenever I picked a first of a Pokemon of any type. You do this like free word association thing.
Okay.
So it's like Rattata. He looks like he looks angry. What's angry? Oh, he's filled with rage. What's something that's very rage filled? And you just kind of you make sure you get, it's like the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon. You make sure you get 6 degrees and away before you pick. That's his name.
So you just name all your Rattatas Kevin Bacon.
I mean, to start to tribute. It was a tribute thing.
Got it.
That's more tradition than anything else. I'm trying to think of a good example. But yeah, I think I still kind of do it with the starter Pokemon in any game, like the fire pig in.
I mean, I kind of do similar things. Like anytime that I've like basically any Pokemon, if I can think of a dumb name to throw on it, totally will.
Yeah, but I like to actually making myself go those extra steps. It takes you a lot longer to get through a Pokemon game if you're doing that because you're like, I'm going to go take a shower because I can't think of a name for this thing and I'm stuck on the screen.
Yeah. And I mean, I'd love to share, but a lot of them are really inappropriate. The ones at least I can think of.
Oh, you showed me a few. I remember you showed me a few.
I play these games with my wife, and so it gets weird.
yeah, a lot of in-jokes. And
she names things and just like, because we're trading back and forth to
And
get
then-
XP boost. So
and
I end up
then-
with stuff that I didn't name, but it's like way dirtier.
It's this thing's named Pickle Rick, but it doesn't. I'm blushing. Ooh.
It gets weird.
Yeah, but that's the fun part, right?
It is fun.
Yeah, and you're like, why would you name this thing this? Or,
Yeah.
you know.
And
Yeah,
literally,
had to be
we
there.
only play like Pokemon together, generally speaking. So
Right.
it's not that weird.
Yeah. And your has Ultra Sun come out?
Oh yes, we actually have them. I haven't started those yet, so maybe I'll that'll be coming up. I will be working on Ultra Sun. I think is how it works. I don't remember.
You know which one you
It
got?
depends on which one.
Did you
my wife
go?
wants.
Did you go Sun?
I was
you
Sun before,
so you get Ultra
so
Moon?
It might be that. I don't know. It kind of depends on the way they set it up, because I think they did it similar to Black and White, where if you got White, you would want White 2 because they like flip flop all the Pokemon to the other one that you didn't get. And
Okay.
I can't remember if that's how it worked with Sun and Moon.
Well, the problem is the problem is, and here's the thing: is I'm the kind of person I would try and collect all the Pokemon if it wasn't so ridiculous to get all the legendaries, or you picked
It's
this,
really-
therefore that.
It's
and-
really not that bad. And
well,
especially
the
with
promo stuff is really what gets me.
oh yeah, the promo stuff. If you like weren't time and place to get those,
You're never
things,
getting them, so you can't.
They're not going to exist.
So even though they have a Pokedex entry, you can't get them.
Yes.
So you can't.
Though some places do have other promo events where you can at least get your you can always share Pokedex info as well.
Yeah,
So that is a way to get the Pokedex.
That's
filled,
not the
but
same.
It's really not.
because gotta
I
catch
think it
them
is a
all, not
total-
gotta read all
it's
about
garbage.
them.
It's absolute garbage. Yeah, gotta read all about these Pokemon.
What you doing? Reading about Pokemon? Yeah, you caught them all? No.
No, but I have a 100% Pokedex.
Like, how do you want to be? Like, wouldn't you love to be that guy who's like, yeah, I've got all but one. Why did you get the last one? I was sick that day.
Oh, jeez. And it's not that bad anymore. I mean, they don't really do a ton of that.
And I'm sure there's roundabout ways.
just-
Like they're like, oh, like because I
You
actually
used to be able to hack in stuff back
well,
in the day.
not even hacking that stuff. I would do-
yanking out trade cables.
I was just
and-
messing around on my DS for Y, and they're like, "Hey, thanks for checking for any Pokemon you want. Here's this." Like,
Here's the thing.
it was like it looked like a plant that, like a fungus hedgehog or
oh,
something.
like the gift ones that they throw out every so often.
yeah,
yeah.
Which I looked it up when it was a promo one.
Yeah, and I think like some.
So
you can
you
get
just
a lot
have
of that through some of that as well.
So you would just have to be plugged into when they're giving it away.
yeah, but I don't pay that much attention.
No, because it's so insurmountable. It's what, like 1,000? It's 1,200 at this point or something.
Is it that many? It might be more.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not really like tapped in on the number.
I mean,
of
if you
Pokemon
wanted
that
to start,
exist.
if you wanted to start, then Pokemon Go. Which sorry, I can't even do that.
I mean, that was good while it lasted.
until they broke it.
Until it was broken. I mean, it's probably better now, but
Right, but they so thoroughly they said we don't want you to play this game anymore.
they ruined our
Patch,
hype. Yeah,
and
they
that was it.
ruined our hype, and that was it.
Yep, and I think what out of we had six or seven of us playing. There's two that still do,
Yeah,
and
two.
that's because they're married and go on walks, and that's it.
They loved it.
They like fitness for some reason.
There you go. Health.
Yeah. Anyway,
Overrated.
that's so Stardew Valley. It's a
not a Pokemon game.
There's also there's also ghosts that inhabit the community center that give me stuff when I give
Oh,
them
right.
stuff.
Is there a bunch of troubled teen youths that
No.
you were trying to
Not
save the community
Not
center
as
for?
yet. No, I'm saving it for me.
It's just
And the ghost. Well, I don't know the age of these ghost apples that they look like,
ghost apples. Okay.
and they disappear when you get close. But they'll have a, hey, bring us one of each plant that you can harvest in spring. You do that, and they're like, here's a packet of 20 random seeds.
I mean, when you have to step up in choreographed dance competition,
Oh,
let me know.
there
because
is a festival event, the Moonlight. There's a dance event. It didn't look step up quality, but that's because I didn't get to bust a move.
I got somewhat of a guilty pleasure confession.
Mm.
I freaking love those stupid choreographed dance moves. Movies.
Moves in the movies, yeah.
The movies themselves.
You
I will
like
watch
getting
all of it.
served?
I will watch that crap, and it is terrible.
How many you got served as are there?
I don't even know. I'm not that much of a diehard, but I definitely enjoy any chance I get. I will watch for those.
Right on.
And
So how many copies of Just Dance do you own?
I don't think I actually don't know that I own any of them.
Good.
I might though. I'm not going to say I don't because I'm not sure.
Right. We might have to have an argument whether or not that constitutes a video game.
What, guilty pleasure movies?
No, Just Dance, which is the equivalent.
Those. No, I don't actually dance. Oh no, I would never. I do enjoy watching that kind of stuff.
So yeah. When we have a Patreon,
I like to watch. I don't like to participate.
And when we hit a very, very, very high goal, then Joe will dance.
I'll DDR for the masses.
Like you just when everyone's got a price when the number's right.
Yeah, it's true. You want to pay that price? I'll get jiggy with it.
I will dance. I'll put on the little monkey fez and everything.
Truffle shuffle, whatever I got to do. I'll make it happen.
What was it? What was the Super Bowl one?
Super Bowl one.
Yeah, it was also a shuffle.
I don't know.
Super Bowl shuffle. It might have been called
Super Bowl shuffle.
Yes, there was a team that won. This is how bad I am at sports trivia. There was a team that won the Super Bowl and ended up doing a Super Bowl shuffle song afterwards.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
80s, bro.
That's the worst.
But at the same time, you can look it up on YouTube. It's like basically like almost like a hip hop style rapish thing that they each have parts of a verse or something.
Oh no, was it Electric Boogaloo quality? Because if not, I don't know. Probably not gonna look
like the movie. No, it was like a music video.
Oh really?
It wasn't a movie. It was
something they had pre-done for this. Oh, that
no.
This is
getting
worse.
After the actual, these are the actual players in the NFL won a Super Bowl, and this song resulted.
That's
yeah.
Whatever. Let's stop talking about that.
Yeah.
I'm done.
I'm
done with that.
I don't want to be on this planet anymore. Well, at this point, I'm not sure what we have to move on to. I know what we have. Destiny update.
Destiny update is funny.
So, on a follow-on to loot boxes, Destiny has a kind of loot box. Not a gameplay affecting loot box, but a loot box nonetheless.
Sure. Once it's accelerated for the first few of them that you get each week, but it's based on your experience, and you will get these bright engrams that when you
loot box,
quote unquote, decode them, they give you the premium cosmetics that you would normally have to spend money on. Granted, they rain these things on you.
If you're really the first week we were playing enough that we were getting rained on.
And I had rolled 3 alts, and
I don't think I get my 3 a week.
I get ridiculous. Not at this point because we've slowed down a lot because the new patch is about to come out. And
I think we raid and that's it.
We raid, do that. I don't do the daily stuff
I haven't played this lockout at all. I should do that.
I need to jump in as well.
I mean, no, don't. I'm a 304 out of 305. So
I'm already 305, but I have alts. So
my alts have needs.
My alts have needs, and I can get more of my bright engrams. Anyway, they do give you some cool stuff. They give you the premium, the really the fun,
and some really cool
emotes,
effects, some cool shaders, and I mean, we're none of us are fans. I
do applaud them on their use of memes and stuff to throw into some of these dumb things.
Some of the dance moves
and the saltin dudes, that Asian guy that just
the salt meme guy.
Meme guy.
Salt bro, let's call him.
You can do that. The Buddy Christ emote is great.
Yes, I'm
a huge fan of Dogma, Kevin Smith. So
just as a side track here, I know I told you this story, but I need to share it because it was beautiful. So Destiny, where I'm out doing a public event solo, just for whatever reason. This other dude rolls up on me. We start doing it cooperatively. We're not in a fire team or anything, but we end up 2-manning this heroic public event. And it's funny because we got finished, we collect our loot, and we're standing there looking at each other. I'm like, wait, it's okay. I hit the Buddy Christ emote because I had it equipped. Right as the same instant, he did the same thing. So we both point at each other, give each other the thumbs up, and then pop sparrows, and we're both 2 different directions. I was like, I'll never see that man again, and it doesn't matter. That was perfect.
So good.
So, yes.
Anyway, so some enterprising young gentlemen discovered that the XP tied to...
Autists, I like to call them.
Autists. Sure.
They'll probably self-proclaim that, actually.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's the thing.
They realized something's up.
They're like, hey, it feels
the way
like...
that XP gain works.
Right. Which we've all noticed some wonkiness.
We have noticed some wonkiness throughout, just with the way that XP gain goes. Namely, just when you're doing the same activity over and over, the XP/rewards from that don't seem
inconsistent
to add up. It seems to be just not proportional to what you're doing and or repeated attempts at said things.
Right.
So then they finally did say something about it, and Bungie did come out and say, "Oh yeah, like it is."
And they had some
quote unquote fixed.
I'll say half-assed explanation.
Yeah, and the buzzword for it is like, "Oh, it's rigged."
Well,
it's rigged. The XP's rigged.
Right. And here's the thing: is here's what I hate, that their apology started off with, "Hey, so we have been looking at your data gathered and gone over our data." As if they didn't see it and know that this was the system that was in there.
I didn't actually read the apology. That sounds pretty funny.
It was straight up, "Hey, we just discovered this too, and we're sorry. This is not the way we wanted it. We'll fix it." Not, "Hey, we knew this when we programmed it," because their explanation was spot on for what they were looking at doing. Absolutely spot on.
And I don't think it's that big of a deal. But again, it's like the EA outrage. I know I don't want to talk about this again, but like I see it as somewhat of a similar.
It is
reaction.
Absolutely. Well, and here's the thing: is in the wake of the EA stuff, they're making some changes as well.
And this is the funny part: is so they did come out. They admitted, like we do have it scaled weird to slow down. Like, so even though you're doing the same activities over and over, they're not rewarding you with the same percentage of experience points for these more easily repeatable things. Granted, it's very specifically for the XP. We do have some tinfoil hat theories about it affecting other parts of the gameplay.
And here's a fun fact that actually they confirmed in their patch notes that we haven't talked about. So this will be let me drop some knowledge on you.
I may not know about this.
Hey, remember when occasionally we'd open a chest and nothing would happen?
Like with
you get nothing. You get nothing.
Stashes and stuff. Yeah.
So what it is there's an invisible internal timer. If you hit the caches too quickly, you don't get any reward to avoid glitching and exploits. It's an exploit.
It's an exploit prevention.
Yeah,
timer.
But it also prevents you from getting gear if you're just too fast to playing the game properly.
I see. That's kind of messed up.
And they said, we're gonna fix it.
I'm glad.
But anyway,
the big thing is they came out and they're just like,
and the numbers were lying. That's the thing, is the numbers were misrepresented.
That's true. Yeah,
the numbers were saying you were getting more, and they were,
and you just weren't actually like getting like the actual percentage you were supposedly getting. So they came out, admitted that it was rigged, and then claimed to be listening to their fan base and that they are going to take that system offline.
They were supposed to today have a live stream when we're recording this. They were supposed to have a live stream of the last reveal part of the new expansion that's out next week. And they said, you all are very angry. We're going to put out a blog post talking about where we go from here.
Yeah.
Basically saying, I don't want to go on the internet right now.
Game address.
Right. I don't want to go on the internet right now. We're just going to sidestep this.
And it's understandable. Like, I wouldn't want to
but it's a live stream. You don't have to look at chat.
Live.
Don't look at chat.
It's true. Don't look at chat.
There you go. But I don't think anybody wants.
That's like such a part of doing these things nowadays. Like,
I think
if you're gonna do a live stream talking about stuff, like, you want to answer questions from your people.
I'm thinking they're guys, because they said you're going to hear from all the studio heads and all these people. I think they didn't want to put anybody up there and have them misspeak, and in that moment have the internet freak out because someone said something.
Especially when they're like some weird parts of the Destiny fan base are already like having like high tension.
That shirt was amazing.
Oh, right, yeah.
There was a shirt that, for those of you who don't play,
you're gonna have to explain that whole thing though.
Well, it's basically
no one's gonna understand.
Most often, public rewards gave you a single quest reward, two rep tokens, and a blue engram. Engram is a loot box that's in-game loot, like
like the bright engrams we were talking about earlier.
Anyway, somebody made a T-shirt that just said two tokens and an engram and a blue engram, which is their way of saying none of the gear in this game that drops for you, it drops at your level, which we talked about as a problem.
Well, I thought that was also tied into that wake of that one demo they were showing where you were supposed to get more loot,
and he only got two.
All he got was the 2 tokens and the engram, and that was the real joke.
I think,
because he spent the whole event talking about how the loot was going to be way better and way more.
I think that's a callback,
and then he just got the exact same
thing that everyone
gets all the time,
and no one even looks at. You're already DEing it before it even hits.
It's already just gone.
Yeah. So they've said eventually they're going to patch. Like, they put basically their blog post was, "We're sorry, we're going to make it better, but it's going to take some time. Here's the things there's 2 updates, one next week, one the week after, and then everything else is 2018 sometime."
Interesting.
But it just it's
like I'm interested to see what said blog post will be.
No, it's already up. I read it.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's where I got the we're sorry we've been making you get empty loot crates when you've been doing it properly, or not loot crates, caches.
Yeah.
And they've changed.
So was there anything else of note?
Yes, the fact that they said we've taken out the XP basically hindrance.
They already said that.
Yeah, but in this they said yes, we have scaled it up, and yes, it is too slow how it is now. We'll fix that later. So their problem is everybody's angry that they're getting gypped on XP. We're going to slow their XP across everything and fix it in post.
Wow, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's that. Granted, I have been playing alts, and I do always have accelerated XP.
Where I'm at with those bright engrams, I would like to get there's one ship I would like, and then I'll put the transmat I like on it, and then I'm done. I don't care. In fact, I don't really care that much now. But that's what I would like. That's my ideal.
I just feel like I get bright engrams like crazy. Granted, I am playing 3 characters,
and the way the XP works is different when you do that.
Accelerated XP is insane,
which is stupid because I only want to play one character.
Even if I'm just being lazy and not even playing all 3 of them pretty hard, you only have to play for a half hour, and I'll have a couple engrams on both of them.
Which is funny because I'm punished for being a player that only plays one class, no alts.
Right, which is a weird thing as well.
Right,
and
it's like no, I'm focused.
There's already been a little bit of kind of controversy / pushback on that. Because the way it used to work is you would have to roll multiple of the same class.
Well, you didn't have to, but people would.
This is definitely the min-maxer in me, and like the hardest of hardcore. Like if you wanted to get the maximum rewards, you would need, arguably all 3 of the same class.
Right.
So you'd have 3 hunters, and in order to get all the most out of Destiny rating and the bonus loot and stuff for that week, you would have to run 3 of the same character to get the best amounts of gear for all of them.
Yeah.
And they kind of quietly for Destiny 2 pulled that out.
And made it so you're
actually punish you for running the same class.
You get lower level gear if you're running the same class. Yeah. But if you're running an alt that isn't, you get higher level gear.
Exactly.
Which is
they encourage you to roll everything, play all the classes, but you're still, if you want to accelerate the
But I'm not that guy.
I know you're not.
I hate the jump on the other 2 classes.
And I am getting used to the Warlock one, and the Titan one's still a little wonky because it's different than I'm
jump,
used to.
best jump.
Nah, lies. Hunter Master Race.
Whatever.
And they do feel different, and all of them do. So it makes it a little hard to swap between all 3 and less pleasurable. I honestly would rather play more. I'd rather play multiple hunters than I would having to being forced to play everything. Mm-hmm. But I understand from a game design, you'd rather have everybody kind of experience everything your game has to offer.
In a game like this, that doesn't happen.
Maybe some people do like the other things better and discover that after having played a Titan for all of Destiny 1, and then they're like, oh, well, now I like a Warlock, so I'll go Warlock.
But the problem is that jump is so distinct that I don't know anybody who... is anybody... We know one person who tried and almost immediately switched back to their old main.
Right.
Because they're like, no, it's just better.
That's not for me.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. It's a neat idea, but the classes are too similar and too different at the same time for that to be a viable strategy.
It's true, and it's not something I commend them for doing, but I can understand it.
They're in this weird place, and I understand. They have difficulties. They're trying to be like other things while being their own thing, and it seems like they're getting it wrong both ways. But I don't know. And at this point,
it's interesting that they are now finally saying, "Oh, we're sorry. Yeah, we know stuff is we're in the hot seat."
And they promise to communicate more, which I don't believe until
I don't believe they've said that multiple times.
Would you like to know one positive thing?
Oh, yes.
They said, "We know that you have more currency than you need for what you want. Yes, we mean legendary shards. We're going to give you a means for spending those."
Okay.
So, but
sure.
Well, except for is it Zur?
Yeah.
Well, basically,
Zur
is going to have engrams that will exotic engrams that will automatically roll exotics that you don't have.
Okay, that's better.
Yeah,
that's fine.
But also they're
adding...
Because
he used to have engrams in Destiny 1. He used to actually have the random engrams, and so if you had a bunch of extra currency...
but it was a rarer currency than your normal purchasing.
Right.
And so that was cool, yeah. So the... But here's the other thing. They're adding Warforged weapons.
Ooh, okay.
But it's not Warforged, but it is Warforged.
Sure. Yeah. It just rolls higher power level.
No.
Then how is it Warforged?
It rolls a bonus stat that you can re-roll, so it might be reload speed.
Reforging. Not necessarily Warforging.
No, it is only basically these Warforged weapons have this stat.
Oh, okay.
They have to be legendary. there you can. Sorry, when you DE them, you have a chance to have an item that basically like a Romladini's gift that allows you to put that affix to a legendary gun that isn't. But what it does, it adds an extra stat of some kind out of a small random pool, but like reload speed or fire rate or they didn't get too deeply into it, but it's a thing that they're going to be adding. So I think they're coming around to the idea is like, no, I liked these 3 guns. These are the 3 guns I'm going to use. Help me make these guns better. They need to get rid of the way they have infusing right now. Handguns only go into handguns. SMGs only go into SMGs. Yeah. I understand why they did it, but it's a bad system.
And it didn't really slow us down that much.
It didn't.
It just made it annoying.
Well, it was frustrating because I was trying to find a good auto rifle, and it took forever.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm still kind of...
and that's what I'm saying. It just made it annoying. It didn't really slow us down.
It wasn't fun. It didn't add anything to the game.
Yeah, it did not. Like,
especially because I hate pulse rifles, and they kept giving me pulse rifles.
If we're dismantling all of these like guns down into the same weapon parts that are then just generic, like why would we need to specifically feed one type of gun into another? It doesn't make sense. And
you're saying that the internal consistency of Destiny isn't there?
Yeah, like it never has been. But I mean, just like even on the face of it, it seems like a dumb decision to change that, because that's how
it's a change for change's sake is what it feels like.
Exactly.
And that's the problem with Destiny 2. It feels like they backpedaled on a lot of neat systems that made Taken King forward better, and then they're just like, kind
of made some just like weird choices for Destiny 2. I don't know, we'll see. I hope this next patch doesn't look
next week is the expansion for us PC players.
Yeah, that's true.
And I love the kind of not resolve, but just kind of we've resigned ourselves. When we were talking about it, you're like, we're buying the expansion because we play Destiny, and that's what we do.
That's how we do it.
Yeah, because it's a game we can all play together and shoot stuff. So I guess it fills that void. So that's where that's at.
So we'll have more to report on Destiny in the future. I'm sure everyone loves hearing about it.
It seems to be the linchpin of what we talk about almost every week.
Well, it's an interesting case study.
I'll say it's a hell of a thing. I'm not going to say I like it. I'm not saying I recommend it. But it's a thing.
Yeah, it plays great. It is a weird, divisive...
It plays great when the systems don't get in the way.
True. Yeah, and, we'll see where it goes. I'm curious to see how it does evolve over the next while.
Okay. Well, we're kind of at time here, so let's start wrapping. But anything for people to look forward to this week on the channel?
Let's see. We have, let's see, when this airs. I guess...
So we'll
Overlord's going to be starting to air this week. So look forward to that. We talked about that a little bit last time. Now you'll actually get to see it.
Right. I'm excited because after this we're going to record some more, and I'm excited to get back in it.
Space Marine starting to heat up a little bit on that one.
Yeah.
But we should be getting close to getting done with Space Marine.
I'm pretty sure we're on the back half. I'm not sure how far into that back half we are.
Right on.
And we've got a few in the can ahead of what's released, and those will go up this week.
Yeah, there's a couple more episodes still.
So we're talking from the end of this week, essentially, is where we're at.
Yeah, because this will air on Monday, and then and then we'll have a couple episodes. Actually, you won't see any. So you'll see everything that we have in the can right now up next week for Space Marine as well.
Yep.
And you'll be enjoying Overlord, which is.
I hope people enjoy Overlord as much as because there's a lot of times it's kind of bemused quiet on our part as we're going. Is this doing this?
Yeah, I'm just not just weren't really sure what we were watching for a minute. But then it really blossoms into something.
I hope it keeps doing it.
I hope it does. I hope it maintains its specialness. And that was only one episode.
Right, that was about 45 minutes of us going, huh? Well, this is a thing.
That is a thing.
Anyway, thank you for joining us for the Backcast. If you have any questions, email us at backlog backchat.
Backtalk.
Backlog
backtalk. Don't worry. It'll be up at the end of
this
video.
We'll put up a slide.
You'll see it. It's on the end bumper.
Or drop a comment, and if you've got a suggestion of some games we should be looking at, or something you want to see. I mean, let us know. We're slow at replying to comments, but we read them almost immediately.
Yeah, I mean, if you really hate what we're playing too, let us know.
Say we hate what you're playing. What can I do to make this stop?
Yeah, I mean, if it's that bad, let us know. We'd be happy to change it up to something more interesting.
Yeah, I mean we're always open to it. If you're watching this, you're with us as we are trying to figure out some things. If you haven't noticed some audio glitches and video issues, and
we're kind of playing with things, changing stuff around,
dial it in.
Hopefully things are getting better, smoother, better.
We found something that works for us. We hope it works for you because we are having a dang good time doing it.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, and we'll see you next time on the Backcast.
Catch you guys later.
Bye.